Hello, in today's video I'm going to talk about the 7 mistakes I made in my Hashimoto's healing journey. So I made videos in the past about what actually helped me heal my thyroid, how I did it. I documented the whole journey with all of the trials and errors. So you probably saw how difficult it was to reach the point where I am now. But at the same time, I never really summed up my greatest mistakes that I think slow down the healing process so much. And if I had done it differently, I would have healed so much faster. So if you're yourself on a self-healing journey, healing your thyroid, Hashimoto's, or anything else, I really hope that these insights are going to help you reach that healing faster. So let's get started. So the first mistake I made was restricting my diet, eliminating food groups, fearing food more and more. And in this way, I created a self-fulfilling prophecy. When I was faced with some kind of food that in my mind was a bad food, my body experienced a lot of stress. And of course, that food ended up creating all kinds of symptoms in my body. That's what I call a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I labeled foods as good and bad. And that's partly due to my history with the paleo diet, which labeled pretty much all of our grains and legumes as bad foods. And perhaps also due to so many Hashimoto's and hypothyroid writers, gurus, doctors who say that we should avoid things like gluten, dairy, and many other things. And so I was stuck in this circle where I was fearing food, and because I was fearing food, food was creating all kinds of symptoms in my body. I honestly believe that all food is good for you, as long as it's not some Frankenstein processed food from, McDonald's or something like that. But even that sometimes could have a place in your life as a very occasional thing. I started eating everything. My diet became really varied. And that's when I started really healing both my mind and my body. My next mistake was eating too many vegetables, or at least trying to eat too many vegetables, too many salads, too many green leaves, whatever is really promoted these days as the ultimate healthy diet. But what I didn't realize at that point is that as a Vata in Ayurveda, air in other words, I couldn't cope with that much vegetables. What I needed was a lot of starches, a lot of carbs that were easy for my body to digest. Once I introduced a lot of healthy starches, mostly cooked, and reduced the amount of vegetables I was eating, I felt so much better. And I really stopped obsessing about making sure that every single meal of mine contained a lot of vegetables. I just really relaxed and focused on those starches. And again, that's when my body started experiencing incredible healing. One more mistake that I made is that I tried either too many things at the same time, so I couldn't pinpoint the culprit for weird symptoms or any kind of failures. And so I was stopping things too early because I was blaming them for something that they actually weren't responsible for. Or I was starting something and then stopping it too early. Like, for example, what happened with iodine. I tried to take iodine so many times, but I was either taking too much of it, way too much of it. Iodine megadosing is really not a good idea in my opinion. Or I got scared by rising TSH even when I was taking very little of it. And I wish I'd known better that time, because a rising TSH is completely normal for the past 16 months or so after starting to take more iodine. What it taught me basically was that I should always try just one thing at a time, not to confuse my body, and to be able to judge the progress better, and to give things enough time to work and to listen to my body above everything else, including blood tests. Because when I got scared by that rise in TSH levels, the fact is that at that time I was feeling so much better. I felt amazing. But my TSH was 7, and that totally freaked me out, and I stopped taking iodine, and I paused my healing for another year or so until I had enough courage to try iodine again. My fourth mistake was that I focused too much on vitamins and minerals rather than herbs. And what I found in the end is that the herbs work so much better for my body because they really fix those imbalances and get rid of the root cause without upsetting the balance of everything else. While instead taking some extra vitamins or minerals could cause other imbalances. And then you will need more and more and more of those vitamins or minerals trying to fix those new imbalances. And it's kind of like a cycle that never ends. But it took me a while to understand that. I'm not saying that minerals or vitamins didn't help me. They helped me a lot. For example, copper was one of the best, if not the best mineral I took during my healing journey. But that's because I had already created a zinc imbalance by taking zinc alone without any copper and by being on a paleo diet for a year. So that's why copper helped me so much, because it helped me come back into balance. But at the same time, yeah, if I had taken copper long term, much longer than I did, without any additional zinc, maybe I would have created a copper imbalance. So minerals can be tricky. While herbs work with your body, a lot of them are also adaptogenic, so they adapt to your body's needs and they help your body gently come back into balance. That's why personally I prefer them more, and they've had amazing results for me. Now, vitamins is a completely different beast. I never got along with any of the vitamins, especially B vitamins. They're really evil for me. I just don't think that any synthetic vitamins, even the ones that say they are food-based vitamins, even those, I just don't think they work well, and they're not a good fit for my body at all. I'd rather get those from food. My fifth mistake is that I had preconceptions in my mind that kind of made me blind to the truth, made me blind to the solutions that were right in front of my eyes, and again, delayed my healing. So, for example, one of my biggest preconceptions was that living on an island in the middle of the ocean, it was impossible for me to be iodine deficient. But only when I got pregnant and I started really struggling, and my thyroid started struggling too, that's when my doctor told me to take iodine, because Canary Islands is actually an area of low iodine. And that completely blew my mind because I had no idea. And then I started reading articles, medical articles about it, and I realized that it's true. Because our islands are volcanic and they have really steep mountains, all that iodine from the soil is literally washed out by the rain and it doesn't stay. So none of the vegetables or fruit really contain any or much iodine at all. And that's why without me eating lots of shellfish, fish and things like that, I simply wasn't getting enough iodine. And then I started taking kelp and I started seeing incredible results. And so up to this day, I consider kelp to be one of the most helpful things for my health and for my body. My sixth mistake is that I listened to gurus, authors, doctors more than I listened to my own body, which was wrong because ultimately nobody knows my body as well as I do. And so what matters the most is what I feel inside, what my intuition says, and how my body feels about things I'm changing, things I'm doing, things I'm taking. It took me a while to really stop researching health so much and just really stop and look inwards instead, to really listen to my body and see what works well for it. Only then I started experiencing true healing. And my last mistake, number 7, is that I focused too much on modern medicine and research and completely forgot about the ancient medicine like Ayurveda or traditional Chinese medicine. The thing is, you can't just look at one and completely ignore the other because they're actually complementary. They work together. You can pick and choose elements from each of them. And the thing is, while the Western medicine made me scared, made me fear my body, made me fear my food, fear my future, and sucked me into the cycle of being scared of everything and feeling like an ill person, when I started looking into traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, I started feeling hopeful and I started to really understand my body and to know what works for it, what doesn't, how to adjust to it, how to adjust to different seasons and so on and so forth. And instead of fearing food, for example, I started understanding what my body really needed. So it was a real groundbreaker for me. I understood about my constitution in Ayurveda, that I was a combination of Vata and Pitta. I started going for acupuncture and I started reading a lot about the Chinese medicine, I realized that one of the biggest problems was a yin deficiency and how eating too many raw foods, too many salads could really disrupt the balance in the body. It just blew my mind. It taught me so much that I never found in any other Western sources. So I think combining those two was really the best thing I ever did for my body. So these are my 7 mistakes. I really wish I'd not made them, but at the same time, I'm glad that I made them. I don't regret anything because we learned from mistakes. If I hadn't made them, I wouldn't be where I am now. But I really hope that this video will help you understand your body better and will speed up your healing process. Whatever you're healing from, you can totally do it. Just don't give up, keep digging, and one day you will enjoy amazing health. So thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.